Okay, before we do anything in this video, which is the main topic on my new alt account, I just want to commemorate this big moment because I've been struggling in plastic hull, and I'm finally finished. This is the last piece of plastic to level up base to 61. After this, plastic will be no longer required for anything in the main campaign. And I should be able to do quite a few base level ups here because I do have a lot of light bulbs and also some of the batteries that we will need for following base level ups. So here we go. Finally, the plastic hurdle has been cleared. And then we can also do base 62 and base 63. Very, very nice. That's the most base level ups I've done in a long time on this account in one go. Usually it takes like a week for each base level up, but once you get past the plastic, it is smooth sailing. Now I still will need a lot of copper to make batteries. I think I need 3 copper for 1 battery. Luckily I have a ton of lead, 113. I can just explore the sulfurina place to get more of the hydrochloric acid, and then I just need to farm more and more copper. But 3 copper is way less than the 5 that you need for 1 piece of plastic, so I'm happy with that. It's gonna take a while to get these batteries, but luckily I have enough light bulbs to last for quite a while, and my stamina bar is almost halfway to max capacity. But anyways, that's just a bit of a side note, but we can get into the main part of the video, which is going to be on my alt account. I can actually level up lab aniline. I thought I made aniline, but I need 5 of these. This is going to take quite a while. How do I make aniline? Okay, so I just need more alcohol, coal, and hydrochloric acid. Okay, not too bad. But yeah, let's go over to the main event, the alt account. Okay, so I'm here on my alt account. This is one that I took a long time to reroll for. If you saw by rarity, this is what I have so far. Now, I got all the new characters that came along with this current ranking event, being Stanley, Encounter in the Desert. This guy's pretty cool. He's a very strong character. He's a single target unit, so he has quite a high attack stat. He increases his own action speed by 20% and also increases his attack by up to 20% after he does quite a few attacks. So currently with no dupes, he takes quite a while to get to that 20%. It's only 1% per attack, but he is like attacking quite frequently. It says action speed slow, but it's really not that bad. And then if you pair him alongside Zeno, who has the leader skill to increase action speed of assault type and range type allies by 30% for a whole 15 seconds. Probably the best leader skill in the game, if I'm being honest. Zeno himself isn't too impressive. Yes, he does heal 25% HP for all allies, which is like the second best in the game in terms of just how much he's healing. Byakuya is 50%, he's 25%. Byakuya is much slower, but Zeno himself is also very slow in terms of his action speed, so you're not seeing him pop very often. The only reason he's so powerful for me right now is because he's 50% action speed buffed in the current event, but when it comes to the next event onwards, I don't think Zeno's going to be that good. Yes, he does have good healing. His HP is actually quite good for a support unit, and his leader skill is one of the best in the game. His rank up items are quite rare. Luckily, I'm getting quite a few of those from the event. But as I said in the previous video, for support characters, their stat don't really matter. So I'm not really too concerned about ranking up Zeno for now. But either way, he was a great pickup. Stanley, as I said, is great single target unit. This Ryusui is carrying. This guy is carrying so hard. Not only with his amazing artwork, and also you will see in the later on in the video when I go through the ranking event, his attack animation is quite goofy, but it's so nice. But he's an area attacker with an immense attack stat, 9.9k. And Ryusui here, I only have him at a rank 3, so he's still going to go up to rank 4 and then rank 5. I just need a lot more of these crystals, which is quite difficult to obtain in the early game. I've been able to progress very quick since we do have half stamina on the main story campaign. I'm already at like chapter 10, so that's pretty nice. Currently I'm just farming iron so that I can get more base level ups, which will obviously help in the event. Getting more stamina for no spending gems is quite important. So a lot of people, they actually save their base level ups for ranking events so that they can rank far without spending your gems on stamina. So when it comes to how many gems I've spent on this account, I've actually written down how much I've spent for each different aspect of the game. So I think by now I've spent about 3,000 or 4,000 gems on stamina alone. That's been to farm the main campaign, because you actually get quite a few of those rank up materials from just clearing the missions, and also making ramen. There's accumulative missions which gives you quite a few rank up materials for ramen. So I've been farming that a lot. I've actually spent 4,500 gems, free gems of course, on stamina, 8,100 on pulls, which for what I've gotten, that is like nothing. 8,100 gems to get 1, 2, 3, 4 banner characters and 2 premium recruit characters. So I did do 1 pull to get Stanley, 1 pull to get Gen. As you can see here at the bottom here, it shows how many pulls I've done. I've done 1 pull for Gen, I've done 1 pull for Stanley. On both of the banners I got them instantly. Then for Zeno, he took a while to come out. I did the 8 remaining pulls you get from the free gems when you start an account right off the bat. You get 3,000 gems. You essentially get 10 free pulls. So I did the remaining 8 pulls on Zeno, didn't get him, but I did end up getting Minami, which is probably the best support character from the premium recruit, which is just the game's standard pull. So I'm pretty happy about her. That's definitely the best, one of the best ones I could have gotten from the premium recruit. And then eventually on pull 21, Zeno came out. So for 21 pulls, getting 2 incredible support SSRs, I will not complain about that. And then Ryusui debuted. He finally came in the game. I only got him, I got him in 4 pulls only. So yeah, a very lucky account. If you actually go over to ChatGPT, which is what I did, I asked ChatGPT, what are the chances of this happening? Doing 2 pulls and getting 2 banner characters, which is a 2.5% chance. If you don't know, the SSR rate is 5%. And if you do get an SSR, it's a 50% chance of being a standard pull character and a 50% chance of being a banner character. So getting Gen and Stanley both from 1 pull, that immediately is a massively low chance. And then getting Zeno and Minami, 2 SSRs, 1 banner unit, 1 premium unit in 21 pulls is also quite low, but it's more like a 16% chance of that happening. So still incredibly lucky, but not nearly as lucky as getting these 2 in 1 pull. And then additionally Ryusui in only 4 pulls. Yeah, the probability of that I will show you in a moment. And there it is. It's a 25% chance of getting a banner unit, so 0.025. You multiply that together for both Gen and Stanley, and then the 16% chance of getting Zeno, and then another 0.02 chance of getting Ryusui. It's a bit of a higher chance. No. I think the math is kind of wrong for the Ryusui pool, because I mean, getting Ryusui in 4 pulls is obviously a higher chance than getting him in the first pool. But for some reason, they are saying that it's lower. The chances of getting me is lower. This is a 2.3% chance. Definitely, the chances should be higher than that. But anyways, by the end, the ChatGPT calculated that it's a 1 in 417,000 chance of getting this exact reroll. So that's pretty lucky. I think that's awesome. This game can really screw you over when it comes to RNG. So having a perfect start is, I wouldn't say necessary, but it kind of is necessary. Because in total, I would say you get like about 80,000 gems from clearing the main campaign, which is a lot. That's going to give you a lot to spend as a new player. But when it gets past that and you don't get a lot of characters from those 80,000 gems, then you're kind of screwed, because you only get about a multi every month from like regular logins, ranking events, limited events. Maybe 1.5 in like 4,500 gems every month for free. But you can do like multis and multis without getting anything. Like it took me on my main account to get Barn Poker Ryusui. It took me 80 pulls, I think. So getting this kind of luck, I think at the start is going to be very helpful. For me though, personally, the main reason I did this is because I want to rank high in the current event. This is one of the biggest events we've had. I think this is the biggest event I've had since I started playing this game. Like I started around in October, I think. It's been about 4 months, but we've never had a ranking event that goes up to 3,000 cumulative score, which gives 1,000 gems, which is exceptional. And also getting Stanley's items for rank up, the revolver and knife, and Zeno's the scientific equipment, which is a bit less important since once again he's a support character, stats don't really matter. But having that and also getting up to 3,000 points for cumulative score makes this a massive event. And it is a Senku character that is debuting. This is an arrival event character, not a revival, so that's why it's so huge. Everyone loves Senku, so if you go to the ranking, you'll see it's exceptionally competitive for top 10. Top 10 is 4.4 million points, and the event still has about 5 days to go. So by the end, top 10 will likely be about 6 million points, which is usually what like top 3 is in most arrival events. So people love this Senku. It's a massive event in and of itself in terms of the cumulative rewards. And also Senku himself, this guy is he's a beast. Like this character is so good. I'm gonna go through what he does quickly, but he is a single target unit. He does complement the gain that I got from the arrival pool. So with Senku, you actually want to run 3 ranged units as your attackers. You don't want to run anything else besides ranged units. So Senku, his attack stat at max is 4,200. So already incredible attack stat, and he has a bit fast action speed. Gen is, I think, a teeny bit lower attack stat, and his action speed is very slow. So you can see why Senku is going to be so powerful. But not only that, he's skill 1. Just look at that skill 1. When range type allies attack hits, its attack increases by 10% up to a maximum of 50%. So after 5 hits, your ranged characters are going to be dealing an extra 50% attack. Now this is of course with max. So if you get top 10, you can max Senku. If you don't have him maxed, what is going to change is that it's going to take longer for him to build up. So he still will get up to 50% max attack, but it will, I think, take a lot more extra hits. And then his skill 2. Now, when I was a more of a beginner for this game, I would have underrated this. When range type attack ally hits, then their crit chance increases by 20%. In this game, a crit is an extra 1.5x damage. Now, crit chance at base is 0%. So if you don't have any units in your team that increases crit chance, you will never hit a crit. Not only does that increase your damage multipliers significantly, but also in ranking events, you get so much extra points for hitting crits. So if you're running a team that does not do crits, you will get a ton less points, and I will display that in a moment to show just how much less points you get. This is something I only realized recently, but having someone to increase crit chance by 20% is so substantial. So both his skill 1 and skill 2 are mad good. Now his leader skill, it's essentially just a nerfed version of what Zeno does. Zeno increases ranged and assault type ally action speed by 30% for 15 seconds. Senku, it's only ranged type allies for by 30% action speed for 10 seconds only. Now I don't know, his cooldown might be much lower than Zeno's, but regardless, I will not be using him for his leader skill. He also has a decent amount of HP, way more than Gen, so there's that. So I really want to max out the Senku. He's also a very low resource cost unit, so him and Gen are going to complement each other exceptionally. I really can't wait to use them. So after I get Senku, I'm just going to look out for one more ranged character to add to my team. and then I will be set. But now let's get into what team I'm actually running. Also, I kind of ignored Yo here earlier. He is the character I got from login day 10. Whenever you start a new account on login day 10, you do get a guaranteed premium SSR, which is the unit from the standard pool. Now this guy, he's not that great. He's definitely one of the worst ones, but he does have knockback. So I think in events where there's not a tank on the enemy side, you might be able to use him to cheese the quest and knock the enemy back to their base. So he definitely could be used, but his attack stat is heavily outdated. He's not going to be much of a use in terms of a damage dealer. This Kinro was a lifesaver. Now, usually whenever we have a new batch of characters, so everyone that's available here, there's always at least one tank. And as I said in the previous video, you need a tank. Otherwise, the enemy will just knock you back and destroy your base before you even get a chance to do anything. So, even though this Kinro is a standard pull unit, he's one of the best ones. He's a tank. He has an alright HP stat and defense stat. It's very outdated once again. I actually did send an email to customer support asking if they are going to update these standard pull units by just increasing their stats. They did respond saying they took in the feedback, so maybe one day we will get a buff to these units. But this Kinro is also not just good for his toughness, anti-KB, but also he does allow knockback and also decreases enemy action speed. So it's a small help, but once again, just like Yo, I could use him in the future to knock back enemy. And also his leader skill does increase your knockback chance, so definitely worth maxing. That's just one amazing thing about this account. The leader skills, we have such a diverse pool of units. As I said before, Zenos is just so good for action speed increase for both ranged and ally assault type allies. Then Ryusui is a knockback leader. Then Minami is a freeze leader, which is so important. And then I don't know, Yo is there, why not? He also increases knockback chance just like Kinro. So I'm very happy with this account, but that's enough flexing. Let me actually do this. So yeah, Kinro, I pulled in from a random ticket I got as a beginner, so that was a godsend. I was saying, please give me either Kinro or Francois, and I got Kinro. I was so happy. Even then, it took me ages to like just level up my units and rank them up to the point where they could beat the very hard difficulty in the ranking event. 45,000 recommended power, but of course, if we look at the bonus characters and the buffs that they get, Stanley gets 50% attack, same with Gen and Ryusui, so you can imagine they do immense damage, and then Zeno gets an action speed increase. So even without our team power being the suggested point, we still have way more than enough damage. And either way, suggested power is always a not a very reliable metric. A team can have a way lower team power and still win, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. Now you might be wondering, why am I not using Minami? Minami is great, but right now she's not really that good. Like she needs more dupes. Like as a leader, she's great. As a generic SSR support, she's not bad. But right now, the enemy does way too much damage. So there are two options here: in Ruri or in Senku. There's also Yuzuria, but our units don't have good defense anyway, so buffing it isn't really gonna help us much. Ruri, she's gonna decrease opponent attack by 21%. Very significant. Whenever I run her, the run is safe. I win 100% of the time. If I run Senku, he increases crit chance by 21%, allowing us to do crits, of course, a lot more damage. Of course, that brings in RNG, random number generator. It involves luck because now we have to do crits at a 20% chance. If we don't do any crits, we will lose. But if you do crits, which is usually we get about 15 to 20 crits in a run with Senku alone, he's the only crit buffer here on the team. With Senku, we get an extra 300 points for our runs, because as I said before, you get a bunch of extra points from doing crits, about 50, but then that gets multiplied by like 2.5. So it is a massive amount of crits. Essentially 100 points, I think. Yeah, I think it's 100. It gets multiplied by 2.5, getting you to about 3x. So Senku is a bit of a gamble. I win like 4 out of 5 matches, but I get 300 extra points for each match. So at the end of the day, I think Rory is better, because the 300 extra points, if you're getting 4 runs with victory and then 1 losing, you're losing more points than you are gaining by running Senku. So I think for now, I will show Rory and then I'll show Senku. So I do have to play manually, by the way. Auto will not work. It will we will get obliterated. So at this point, strategy is key. Now, there are a few details about Battlecraft that I'm still uncertain about, such as the order in which you send out your allies. Does it matter? Does it affect their positioning? Because if I summon Ryusui first, I'm pretty sure he's the frontmost character. He's going to be right in front of the enemy. Regardless, I have a very specific strategy, so let's get straight into it. So we summon Ryusui first. He is our main damage dealer and also tank. He's more of a tank than Kinro. Then we're going to summon Zeno. Sorry I got interrupted, but yeah, so Kinro, he's going to die very quickly. He dies like 4 times in these runs because he has such a low HP and defense. Zeno, of course, is a great healer. Rui herself is healing a decent amount, but mainly is decreasing enemy attack. Gen dies quite a bit, but I think my main strategy here, I know my main strategy here is to level up our resource so that it increases our resource at a faster rate, and then we can make our units leveled up, and then their stats will be quite high by the time we reach the final boss. The lion is gonna kill us if we don't have high level up, so it's quite important here. First thing I did was summon out all my allies, and then we're focusing on the resource. So let's do this. So usually I try to get my resource up to, also make sure you are, or I make sure I'm using my Zeno actions leader skill very often. It's quite important. Summon Kinro back in, increase resource. Once I get resource to level 5, then I stop. That's enough. And then we can start increasing the stats of our non-support characters. The one thing about auto that sucks is that it also levels up the support characters, which we don't care about. Leveling up, it just increases their stats, so we do not care about leveling up support units. It's a waste of resource. Summoning Gen back in. Ruri as well. This one is actually quite an unfortunate run. We're losing quite a bit of our characters here. So I get I think that's the final stage for Stanley. We don't care about leveling up further. We need Ryusui 1 more level up. There we go. If things get bad, I'll use a ramen just to guarantee our run. We need to have either Stanley or Kinro in at all times. If we don't, we lose. I've done so many runs, I know this by now. I accidentally leveled up Ruri, but there we won. You see, Ryusui is so crucial here. You saw Senku hiding behind that lion there. Senku does so much damage to us, but luckily Ryusui's attack range, he's an area attacker, his attack range is the best in the game. So he attacks Senku even though he's hiding behind the lion. He kills Senku before the lion dies, and we win super easily. 2,900, basically 3,000. But as you can see here, 0 for crit, no crit times. We get some for, we make sure we use our leader skill at least 5 times. Beyond that, you don't get any more points. We also get points for using items, so I have so much ramen. I have like 100 left, so might as well just use them for more points. 1.5x for bonus characters, 1.6x for clear time, and another 1,000 for clearing the highest difficulty. Our max damage, this could be higher. It should go up to 200. Once again, another benefit of using crits. With crits, our max damage easily gets to 10k, and we get the maximum amount of points from this metric as well. Yeah, my throat hurts. But anyways, one last thing I want to show you guys is using Senku. Now, I'm not certain if this will lose. If it doesn't work, I'm gonna look like an idiot, but who cares? But we can't use Minami. We lose so many times. We need to use these end characters. Such good support units. Hopefully this works. Proper elegance. So we are summoning Ryusui, then Kinro, Senku, Gen, Stanley, and then finally Zeno. We want to make sure Zeno's at the back. If Zeno dies, it's a pretty good sign that you're going to lose the run. Because he's our main healer, of course. Okay, summon Kinro back in. Everything happens it happens basically the exact same if you're using Ryusui. But of course, as I said before, using Senku introduces luck, which I hate, but you know, we're getting so many more points, I have to consider it. Once I get enough materials to rank up Ryusui, the run should be like super safe, even with Senku, so looking forward to that. It might take a while. Because right now, the only source of rank up items I have are dailies, and then also this quest itself gives me Psy rank up materials. But not Psy, Assault, which is what Ryusui needs. Okay, everyone's ranked up where they need to be. Kinro needs a bit more. Oh no, rank up, level up. Okay, we use our action speed here, increase. Kinro's gone. Stanley, please live. If you just pay attention, you might be able to see a crit. Summon Kinro back in. Yeah, we're safe. We saw a crit there. And the monkey is a Mgana. A dead man living. A dead man walking. And then Stanley two-shots the base with max. So yeah, it's a very specific strategy, but it's what I have to do to get the maximum amount of points. And you'll see here, 3,400. It's an extra 450 points. 16 crit times, that's generally what you see. I mean, by law of averages, with how many hits we do, we're essentially guaranteed at least 10 crits, like no matter how bad our luck is. So it's not too much of a luck game. The issue is that the crits need to happen when the lion comes out. The lion at the end is our biggest op. He is our run ender. He two-shots our base. So yeah, quite important to get him. We also barely had any downs this time around. Only Kinro died, and I think Gen won, so we got extra points, 75. Very, very nice. So, I mean, what am I going for? Yeah, I'm at least going for top 50. I want top 10 because this is the only ranking event I'm going to be able to get this many points for. And I want the title, so maybe I'll do top 10. The issue is that I would have to spend literally all of my gems. All 30,000 I would have to spend for top 10. Like, genuinely, it's that bad. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, ask me down below. Tell me, what team are you running? Are you going for the Senku? I think he's so worth it. Especially because ranged characters are the rarest type in the game. They really don't come around too often, so getting this Senku is like, he's not just a ranged character, he is a peak ranged character. He's a tier 0 ranged character. So I will make a tier list in the future with all these characters. I just need to find the assets for all these characters so I can actually make a proper tier list. But it is what it is.